welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're going to discuss the relationship between Leo and Aquarius. This is one of the most highly compatible zodiac signs across the sphere. The reason being, Leo is represented by the Sun, Aquarius represented by Uranus. These are two signs, two planets that really have an opposing sort of energy, but the attraction between these two is magnificent. Starting off with an intimate relation, Leo and Aquarius. The Leo is the king of the zodiacs. The Aquarius is sort of like the under king. They're the outsider, the innovators, the pioneers, the people that think outside the box, and they really bring the king, meaning the Leo or the queen, down in a sense of that ego. And when it comes to a sexual relationship between these two, it's kind of like a battle of domination. This leads to a very healthy sex life. This leads to these two people learning more about themselves through sex, and also learning more about each other, understanding each other's bodies very sequentially. So this works very, very well. When it comes to trust, they can have a very deep trust due to their very two different opposing perspectives. The Aquarius wants to think of things in a new way, and they're very individualistic. The Leo is very individualistic as well, according to societal norms. They're like more of the alpha, whereas the Aquarius is sort of like a sigma energy. And when you get these two together, it really brings a sort of force of nature to be reckoned with. Meaning their opposing perspectives will open each other to new ways of thinking. The way the Leo has confidence and really views themselves as being very special, and they always are able to shine the path on what to do, whether it be career-wise, relationship-wise, and anything, they have a very dominant perspective. This helps ground the Aquarius energy a lot, where they more so have a cold approach to things. They're trying to think of things intellectually, logically. The Leo fills them with passion and glamour, and they actually want to go towards things with more aggression. The Aquarius brings Leo to a sense of detachment, wanting to go for things in more of a way in which that they can feel, I would say, more in control. And that makes them actually have a very, very different perspective on things that leads to a better perpetual existence in the meantime. When it comes to any sort of values, they both value being honest. They both are courageous. They both believe in integrity. Where they start opposing each other is that the Leo demands status, appreciation, the fame. Whereas Aquarius will just invent something. They don't even care if you know that they did it. They want to actually change the world for the sake of changing the world. So for an intimate relation, the discussions these two can have can be endless, also the debates. But because they both have very strong hearts and minds, it doesn't become personal. So for an intimate relation, I'd say this is about 90% of the time it's definitely going to work. When it comes to a business, 95 to 98% of the time, they're going to work very well. These two are the type of people that can overthrow governments, make revolutions. They're the type of people that can make monster companies, become CEOs, do different, set up opposing factions. They can use their energy for either good or bad, depending on what they actually want to do. So that's what makes these guys so powerful. The Aquarius is able to innovate and bring forth new technological advancements to our world, to our society as a whole. And the Leo is able to really be that dynamic leader, be that person that can actually motivate other people and push them in the right direction. So they both have a very powerful way of influencing people. The Leo through the self, through their ego, and the Aquarius through their intellect. So when you combine these two together, you get a very powerful dynamic duo that can really take over the world, essentially. I don't mean over-exaggerate that. These two have such a powerful energy that when they're together, that they can be very hard to stop. Only downside with these guys is that they could battle in the hierarchy for who's really in charge at a given time. The answer to that is that in different circumstances, they each need to be in charge. When it comes to marketing or selling the idea, I recommend the Leo to market it, to bring it, to sell it. When it comes to actually making the thing, whether that be a physical inanimate object or some sort of idea, bring it together, the Aquarius needs to take the lead in that sense. So there doesn't necessarily need to be somebody in charge, but there just needs to be a balance of the energies and a balance of cooperation, meaning diplomacy. At certain points, the Leo needs to be at the head, and at certain points, the Aquarius needs to be at the head. They can pretty much do anything under the sun. As long as they're able to complement each other's energy and understand where each of them needs to be in charge, it's going to be a very fruitful and lucrative relationship. Last but not least, friendships between these two, 95%. These guys can get along because, like I said, they can have debates, not take it personally. When they meet each other in the classroom or at work, wherever it may be, they'll be able to get along with each other because of their fact-based communication. They're both able to see things in a very different context, but then still be able to elaborate and really get things done. Meaning their conversations are going to be both subjective and objective. They're able to really have a subjective conversation about their imagination, how they feel about the world, different perspectives, but then they're able to ground the energy by saying, well, here's objective reality behind why I think this, and maybe here's what I want to do to change things in the world. The Aquarius is definitely going to be somebody for that. They're great with social dynamics. They're great for diplomacy and cooperation. And the Leo is somebody that always loves having somebody that has a high sense of individuality and has the gall to actually stand up to them. The Aquarius is the perfect candidate for that. And because of this, they make for a very great friendship that can last a lifetime. In friendships, the downsides, I would say, is if the debates get too far, if they do have a lot of polarizing opinions that maybe they can repel each other, but that would go for pretty much anybody. As long as they're able to really see each other and respect the individual that's in front of them, like I said, 95% to 98% of the time, even for friendships, it's going to work very great. All right, guys? So that should conclude the video. If you guys do have any questions whatsoever on Leo and Aquarius, please just let me know in the comments. Aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe. Holla at me for today, guys. Peace.